Hello, I'm Jason Rubenstein. I'm the Howard M. Holtzmann Jewish Chaplain at Yale. Shana Tova. We're often told that these holidays are about becoming better, about working harder, about fixing our flaws. And this year that just comes up so short. So many of us have worked so hard and lost jobs. We've cared for others and seen them sickened or die in the pandemic. We've given to our communities only to see them separated by distance and by conflict. And maybe today, maybe this month, maybe this season aren't about trying harder, about realizing whether or not it's true that we could or should have done things differently, but about realizing how precious, how vital, how powerful, how transformative our connections to what's greater than us are. I was 26, a lifelong attendant at high holiday services, when this hit me with the force of a musical revelation. It was at Kilat Hadar in New York City, and my friend Arya Bernstein, his wild march from the Muzhitz Hasidic community, wrapped up Unatana Tokef, leading us, bouncing and parading around the room, my mouth on the floor, in the most wonderful of disorientations. This holiday, I'd been told and believed, was somber. It was about introspection. It was about realizing our failures. I had never noticed that there was no liturgy or litany of confession, no list of sins for Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah is not about me, and it's not about me being better. It's about the incredible, the awesome, the incomprehensible privilege each of us has to stand as a link in chains that go back further than we can understand and that represent everything we can imagine and more. And it's in the moment that seems the most somber, the most terrifying, that puts the most onus on us, that actually reveals this most powerfully. And that moment is Unatana Tokef in the Ashkenazi liturgy. This moment today, your greatness, God, is proclaimed. Even the heavenly angels tremble, because none of us, no one and no thing, stands innocent in judgment. Every creature has a destiny laid out for it, to life or to death, to plenty or to hunger, to peace or to war. But charity, prayer, and repentance can avert some of the evil of the decree. And where we normally end the prayer, we acknowledge that we are like a passing dream, a vanishing cloud, and dust that scatters. That kind of proto-existentialist desire to avert the calamity with the little agency we have in the midst of this wide, desolate world was the Rosh Hashanah I grew up with. But that's not where the prayer ends. It's a transition into the Kedusha, where we recite the angelic chorus of God's praise, and the link from that acknowledgement that we are like dust that scatters after a mere matter of years or decades, passes immediately into an almost incomprehensible exclamation of joy, wonder, and gratitude. But you, God, are eternal. Your years never end. And you, incomprehensibly, wonderfully, with grace, have bestowed your name on us, have welcomed us into your covenant, have made us your partners, and have taught us to sing the praise due to the angels. And then we launch in. So that whole darkness, that whole sense, that whole acknowledgement that we are but dust and ashes, that we need to change and mend our ways, is only scene one, setting the kind of low note of the chord. Scene two sets God up. You, God, you, in contrast, your years never end. We are slow to anger. And the resolution, the third note that makes the harmony, is that there is a link, as hard to imagine, much less deserve it is, between us and our fleeting years, our smallness of perspective, our vulnerabilities of body and mind, and God, and the vastness of our tradition, and the promise of redemption. And it's in that wonder that the delight of Rosh Hashanah unfolds, a wonder that I never heard the music of, and I never felt the vibrancy of in Jewish community. And that's a wonder that captures, more I think than anything else, what we feel like we're losing today when we can't be in our beautiful sanctuaries, in our frankly beautiful clothes, listening to the regal melodies sung by our own human angelic choirs, when we can't experience the pageantry or relive the majesty of this day. Because what we've lost this year in pandemic isn't that we've discovered that we're bad people. It's that we've been cut off from so much, from so many, and especially from that which gives our lives dignity and hope and a measure of grandeur. And that's what today is about. And so my hopes is that when we feel the poignant ache of being absent from those treasured places, from hearing the beautiful cadence of those rhythms, from seeing the synagogue in its full light, we know that that's something of value that we've lost. And we remember also that we haven't fully lost it. That this day is, even as we are in exile in our homes and in small communities and prayer groups and parking lots, that today is a message that we are not alone, not in time and not in space and not in purpose, but that over and against all reason, we are part of something so much greater and covenanted to someone so much more unimaginably loving. That just as we are communicating right now across this screen, there are people in places speaking languages that we don't know, sharing our hopes, connecting to us even though they don't know us. And that unity and that strength and that power of the Jewish people are here for us. They're harder to make tangible and palpable today, but they are here. They're the heartbeat of the universe on this day, which is the beginning of God's creation anew. And my hope for each of us in the coming year is, yes, we will do better. We will be better. We'll be better friends and spouses and children and parents and neighbors. And it's also that we'll remember that it's not all on us. We can't on our own make the fullness of our lives, but that it's in connecting to those and that which is greater, which transcends, that fills our lives, and that connection may start as an echo and as a hint today on Rosh Hashanah and grow through weeks and months to next Rosh Hashanah in synagogues where we can appreciate again the wonder of the gift we've been given by partnering with something and someone so great. Shana Tova.